All right, Martin Custom Canvas, right next to Duckworth's. Let's see, right there's Duckworth's, and right next door, Martin Custom Canvas. And it's 195 East Main Street. And we're gonna talk to Jeff, the proprietor. Look at that. There's all your contact information. Jeffrey.
Hey, Joey. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
I'm very excited. Everybody thinks that I'm a professional boater because I own a lobster company, but I've only owned a recreational boat for 4 years now, my wife and I. And you have created this space right here where you do custom cushion work.
Marine canvas and upholstery, yes, absolutely.
Canvas and upholstery. All right.
Yeah.
And your shop is very organized, I should say, very professional. And we're going to look at some of the types of work that you do, what you're capable of doing, and give some suggestions on how people can contact you and everything else. So we have some examples, and let's give a little background of yourself about your experience in this type of work and what you'd like people to know.
Well, I'm a lifelong boater. I love boating. I've been doing it, like I said, all my life. I'm a corporate veteran, worked for Nike for 17 years in a global role, and COVID came along, and I decided I wanted to make a change. And what better way to do something that I'm passionate about, boating. And as a potential customer for myself, I had a very difficult time finding somebody to do the work, and the lead times were exorbitant, and people were retiring out of the industry and nobody coming in new. So I decided there was an opportunity for that type of person to come into the business, and there's a huge amount of support for it within the industry. It's a very small cottage industry, but people helping people and a lot of resources. So I decided to dive in, jump down to Maryland to take a 2-week course from Boat Canvas University to learn how to do this stuff, invested in a machine and a location, and off and running. It's been gangbusters ever since.
That's fantastic. Well, I'll tell you, it's interesting. I was in the market for a boat during the whole COVID thing, and there were very few boats on the market. Like everybody was like clinging on. It was hard to get a new boat, and boats that were still available seemed to be boats. There was a lot of actually nice boats, nice hulls, nice engines, but they had like faded cushions.
Right.
And I was thinking to myself, I feel like there's an opportunity because you could go and see, oh, look at that boat, but oh, Jesus, the cushions are terrible.
Right.
But really, those could be replaced.
Absolutely. Everything on the boat can be replaced. So you could take an old boat, to your point, and make it look like new with new cushions. You can decide the color, you can decide the materials yourself, really make it your own. New canvas enclosure, bimini top, and we do all of that here. We bend frames, the stainless steel frames for bimini tops, and everything is made custom to your boat. And you're very involved in the decision process because ultimately it's for you. And we really stress here the custom nature of what we do. It's not a one-stop off-the-shelf type of thing where you have to modify it to fit your boat, or it doesn't fit exactly right, or the color is not really what you wanted, but you'll compromise.
Right.
This is really, at the end, you wind up getting exactly what you want the way you want it.
Let's go over here, and you have this example out for us, and we can take a look. So what we're looking at here is an example, a prime example, I would say. The top one is an old, like faded and cracked,
worn through, cracked bolster.
Connected. Oh, so you took the
So this is the old one I cut off because the zipper, as a lot of the zippers are, was completely unworkable. You couldn't even unzip it. So I use this as a guideline to take measurements from, but I also, like in terms of locations of where the snaps are going to be,
right,
because I'm not on the boat, so I have to use this as a guide. But I use the actual foam and the actual piece to make a pattern for all of this stuff. So this kind of gives me measurement references, but ultimately I don't use this as a pattern because if it's a bad piece and doesn't fit right to begin with, then I'm just going to replicate the same thing.
Right.
So that's, again, one of the custom things that we do is pattern everything fresh. We don't use any existing materials as a pattern because they oftentimes will not fit correctly, and then I'm going to wind up doing it again.
But look at the refreshed one that you made.
Yep.
It's just a perfect. The colors match up, the pattern matches up, and someone's going to have a boat that, if you went on a boat and you saw this, that's a really bad look. It just detracts from the whole experience.
Right.
And then you go, boom, brand new one.
Right.
And it just makes it look.
And actually, in this area where you see this hole in the material that was rubbed through, the weather had gotten to it and actually eaten the foam away. So I fabricated a new piece of foam to sit in here. And if the foam is really bad, like disgusting and moldy and everything, we'll just replace the foam completely.
Right.
We have a huge stockpile of foam. I have a supplier that's close by. We keep it all in hand. And actually, right directly in front of you there, Joey, in the corner, that's all stuff that is ready to be cut.
Oh, wow.
So I've already traced that all out, and I'm going to be cutting that. That customer wanted to increase the thickness of their foam from 2 inches to 4 inches. So again, another custom.
Yeah.
We don't like it. It's too thin. We'd like to make it thicker. So I'm able to accommodate that.
Very cool. So let's go look at some of the different kind of colors. And also, what we should talk about a little bit is this trash right here?
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Oh, my God. It's driving me crazy. Did I get it off?
Yeah.
All right, good. I had a piece of gum that was driving me nuts. But no, I'd like to talk about like how backed up are you, and we speak about this all the time on the blog. Like, if you need something done on your boat, don't be the guy that waits until June 15th or Fiesta weekend or 4th of July weekend to contact the guy that's going to do the work. Like, I imagine like this time of year, you're a lot slower than you would be, but there's still, I mean, you probably still have work to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And to your point, it's out of sight, out of mind, right? And everybody's rushing to get their boats out of the water at the end of the season. It's just like all the things that you thought about at the beginning when you unwrapped it.
Yeah.
You thought, oh, geez, I should get my cushions redone. I should get my canvas redone. I need a new bimini top, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, the boating season is so short here in New England that you just want to get on it and use it. Right. And you say, I'll get that done at the end. And then at the end, it's a mad scramble to get out of the water and get the boat. The guy's banging on your door to shrink wrap the boat because he wants to get to Florida. Yeah. And like, you know, so consequently, guys like me spend their whole entire summer knocking on people's doors saying, don't forget in the fall, right, let's make sure before you wrap up, we get your cushions off, we get measurements for your bimini top, all of that sort of thing. And people don't really think about that. Ideally, this industry, the way it should work, and the most ideal way it should work, is the least interruption to the boater and the least interruption, or at least stress for me in terms of trying to get things done, right, so you can get on your boat. So ideally, the wintertime is the perfect time, but it takes planning.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I do have plenty of work right now. I'm operating about 2 to 3 months out.
Wow.
But I'm always looking for more work. There's no question about that. So some places I know, it's like I said at the beginning of this interview, it's a shrinking industry. So there's fewer and fewer people. And to your earlier point about trying to find a boat during COVID, and there's more and more boaters coming into boating.
Yes.
So consequently, more work and less people to do the work, like a lot of the things around here lately. So plan on getting over here because we'd love to accommodate you guys.
So this is cool right here because I know my buddy TJ, Harbor Master TJ, he bought a boat similar to mine, and he redid his cushions. And he did diamond pattern on his, and it wasn't like that before. So there are a tremendous amount of options you can do color-wise,
absolutely,
pattern-wise on the stitching,
yep,
color of the stitching. Some people just go regular white to
yep,
match the cushions. Some people want that contrast.
Yep.
Piping, I imagine,
yep,
is a thing.
Absolutely, all of those things.
So what are we looking at right here?
So we're looking at a lot of examples of different types of materials. Sunbrella is kind of like the Coke
That's the
you
it
know,
right now.
Kleenex, the name brand in the industry. These guys set the standard for everything else. And we do a lot of sunbrella work for enclosures, bimini tops, covers.
Are they? Is there a certain guarantee that comes with when you use sunbrella, as far as not fading or something?
Yeah,
like that?
sunbrella has a lifetime guarantee, and we also what I use for thread, which a lot of people don't think about thread. Thread is thread type of thing, but I use a thread that has a lifetime guarantee as well because it's UV protected. Everything breaks down. This is all materials, right?
Right.
But to the point that they can treat the material to make sure that it's UV protected and make sure that it's going to last. You know, so I like to use higher end materials that I can guarantee and stand behind as well, because I don't want you coming back to me unsatisfied.
That's right, of course. So what's the difference between sunbrella and this?
Tempo test.
Yeah.
Again, these guys kind of, you know, whether they came first or not, I don't know chronologically, but they certainly put the marketing in to get their name out there and become a household name. And it's in furniture and it's in everything else. These guys are strictly a marine company. They're an Italian marine company. So just another alternative. Sometimes they offer materials that, in terms of color combinations, that maybe sunbrella doesn't offer. But for the most part, it's just another option, because as you wouldn't want to put all your eggs into one basket, right? Because if sunbrella all of a sudden has a material shortage and there's no more black, you need another option, right? And then these are some examples of some different vinyls. Sunbrella expanded recently into the vinyl area. So for cushions and things, they make a product called Horizon, which is incredible. It's a really nice product, but there are literally hundreds of different options in terms of colors and types.
Is this the flooring?
Yeah,
stuff
that's
that you
flooring,
see?
exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
you see this a lot. You know, a lot of these, a lot of the pontoon
Pontoons,
boats
yep.
have these different floorings and
Yep.
stuff like that. And again, you may see a boat and you're like turned off on it because the flooring is messed up or moldy or something like that.
Or it looks old. It just dates the boat, right?
Right.
Yeah, we'll come down and we'll take a pattern of your floor. We'll order up the material, cut it, sew it, bind it on the edges, and install the snaps and install it for you.
Freshen it right up.
Yep.
And what do we have over here?
Again, there's a lot of different options. You see a lot of textures in some of this stuff. It's not all just smooth, so you have some options for different type of textures, different types of hands. You know, kind of got a little bit of a perforated type thing. And these are all it's important to note that these are all the suppliers that the boat manufacturers themselves are using for their materials. They're not making their own materials. In fact, a lot of them don't even make their own cushions. They provide the technical drawings for the cushion manufacturers, and those are done third party for them. But we're able to contact the manufacturers, find out what the original material spec was, and if they still make it, we'll track it down so that it looks exactly the same as it did, if that's what you want.
I see you also have the isinglass. And so again, I imagine same deal.
Yep.
If you're missing a piece, maybe a piece blows off,
Right.
maybe it's not, maybe the zipper's not working.
Yep.
You can come down and customize just about anything. I
Absolutely.
imagine.
And we do.
What if it doesn't have it and you want to put
We can absolutely
an enclosure?
Yeah, we can absolutely
work
do
that
that.
you
We'll
do.
design that and
Wow.
and work with you on that.
Yeah.
We do a lot of that,
Yeah.
actually.
I see you have all different type of zippers. There's soup to nuts here, really.
Yep.
Because you have all the pieces that you could possibly need to make it all work out.
Exactly.
All right.
This is a frame here that I just spent last week. That's going on a sailboat for a Dodger for a sailboat. So right down the road here at Beacon. I'm going to install that next week, and then pattern for the Dodger itself.
Wow.
Install all the snaps and everything. So this guy has, to your example, this guy doesn't have a Dodger, never had a Dodger on his sailboat. So we're starting from complete scratch.
Yeah.
And he looked up what he wanted online, brought me some photos. We talked about it. He picked the color, and I'm going to, install it soup to nuts.
There you go. Very cool. All right, Jeff Martin, this is the spot.
This is it. 195 East Main.
If you're looking for something for your boat to freshen up your boat, if your cushions are tired, if you just want something different, Jeff is your guy. Give us a. Do you respond? Are you where are you most active if someone wants to get a hold of you? Social media.
So I've been
wise?
so busy in the 2 years that I started this. I started this 2 years ago, actually this month. And I've been so busy, I haven't even had a chance to put a Facebook page up yet, but I'm working on that.
Oh my God.
But you can contact me, phone or text at 978-335-0502. That's the best way to get a hold of me. I'm in and out of the shop, but I'm at 195 East Main Street in Gloucester.
Which is right next to Duckworth's, in
Right.
between Duckworth's and the
Laundromat.
and the laundromat.
Yeah. But always a good idea to call or text before you stop by, because I might be out on a job somewhere or meeting with a client. So those are the two best ways. Or I am also have an email address, Jeff, Jeff, at martincustomcanvas.com.
There you go, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Joey. Appreciate it.
All right, pal.